Hi, this is Michael Uslan. You're listening to Batman on Film.
Hey now, Jett, Ramey from Batman on Film, to let you know that support for this show and all the shows on Batman on Film is brought to you by Manscaped, the men's below-the-waist grooming champions of the world. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code JETTBOF, that is JETTBOF, at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com, and use the code JETTBOF. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Hey now, and happy Thanksgiving, since we're recording this on the 24th of November, 2021. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and with me, me is Jett, Ramey. I am the founder of Batman on Film. And with me, I go back to that, with me is senior BOF contributor, Ryan Lauer. Ryan, how are you?
I'm doing great, Bill. Thanks for the invite to talk a little bit of Batman, so we can feast.
Oh, there you go. I mean, this was something that wasn't planned, but here in the last, I don't know, less than 24 hours, a new synopsis for the Batman was dropped, and it came via the UK Warner Brothers site. I checked the domestic one, and they still have that very first original very short synopsis for the Batman, but the UK one has been updated a couple times. I saw it
traveling around the interwebs.
Yeah,
I was trying to. I saw people sharing.
I just wanted to verify that it was not some fan fiction synopsis, and it's not. But we're going to get to that second. And first, what I want to get to is the new trailer. I should say new, the first trailer for this animated film from Warner Brothers that is set in the world of DC Comics, called DC League of Super Pets. And I know some people may roll their eyes at that, but I never have, not ever from the beginning, because everything, it's got to be dark and serious and all that, but everything has to be for adults. No, it does. Everything does not have to be for adults. There's a place for this type of stuff, and I'm super happy that Warner Brothers is doing this. And I got to say, the trailer, what I thought the movie was going to be, was very different from what I saw in the trailer. I don't know if your reaction was, but I didn't know that Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman and the Justice League were going to be in it. I thought it was just going to be strictly super pets. It looks like a different take on Ace the Bat Hound than we're used to, and it looks really fun. And I'm kind of excited. Not kind of, I am excited to see it when it comes out next year. What was your thoughts?
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny that we're still in an age where when something's announced that you do get people that are like, cool. And then you get the overreactions too before. I mean, we see nothing. We just hear, DC Super Pets movie's coming. And you get some of that sort of stuff. And it's just like, oh my gosh, it's fine. Just, we don't even know. Wait till something comes out and we'll see. And also, as we've talked about on here before, like you said, with the not serious stuff, it's like, it's a gateway for kids. Like it's a gateway for other people, family stuff. Like families may not go see the Batman, but families will gather around and watch DC League of Super Pets. And like, it's a way, it just works. And I liked the little thing that they showed. Was it last year, right? Or was it this year? It was like the black screen, but then you just saw the first design of Crypto. And we didn't hear anything. And then we knew that Dwayne Johnson was going to voice him, and then we knew Kevin Hart, and they have such a good chemistry as it is. Yeah, that's just like, that's cool, that's exciting. And then this little trailer, I thought it was fantastic. Yeah, like it looks like unapologetic fun, and that's great. I didn't know what the story would have been either. This gave you a little snippet of that. I thought it looked funny. I thought the animation looked cool.
Yeah.
I like the inclusion of Superman, and we saw a Batman and Wonder Woman and stuff too. They will Superman or Batman. I don't expect to be like the third star of the movie or anything, but it's still cool. We got to see a new version of Batman. That was cool. So yeah, I'm all in. I think I was anyway. But yeah, bring it on.
I'm anxious to see, because it looks like, and from reading the synopsis that came with it, I got Warner Brothers sent me all the, the press release and the video and whatnot. And it looks like, like I said, this is a different take on Ace, that Ace is like kind of a rescue dog in a way,
Yeah. The origin of Ace.
Yeah. And I want to see how he's got to, become Batman's dog at some point,
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And that'll be interesting to see what they do. I thought the look of Batman was kind of cool. It's kind of like if Pixar got a hold of, the DC characters. Kind of like, the Incredibles-ish kind of vibe to it. And I liked Superman with the old school black, the black background on the S, and I like the look of Batman. I like the fact that he didn't have quote unquote lenses, and you can see, even though he's animated, you can see his eyes. Even with the animation, I mean, how these films are, these CGI animated films. There's a lot of, even though they're not humans, there's a lot of emoting you can do with those characters and their eyes and their facial features. So that was cool. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing it, and Batman on Film will cover the heck out of that over the next
do you remember
months.
when they said when that's coming out?
It's next summer 2022 year, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay.
I can get the date real quick.
And that's going to be a theater. Yeah, because they're back to theater exclusives next year, right?
Yes. So let me look.
Whereas
here. Go ahead.
That Bat Wheels show, that was an HBO Max thing because it's a show, right?
I believe so. Yes. Okay. It is coming out on May 20th, 2022. So cool. A couple months, almost 3 months after the Batman. So yeah. So lots of DC stuff on the big screen.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be there.
For sure. All right. So let's get to the main topic here. So they dropped. Shoes. Yeah. No, it is not Dick Shoes. Okay. It is not It is not the third Darren from Bewitched that we're going to be discussing. Although I guess on the satellite show, if someone wanted to, they could do a whole show on the Bewitched TV series and how there were 2 Darrens.
I think that's
or 3. Yeah.
I think that's the next one. Yeah, Rick's going to talk about that. So there you go.
Dick York, Dick Sargent, and Dick Shoes were the three Darrens, right? Am I right?
There you go.
All right.
Yeah, it works.
So let me start reading this.
All right.
And then we can discuss. It says, from Warner Brothers Pictures comes Matt Reeves' The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, the dual role of Gotham City's vigilante detective and his alter ego, the reclusive billionaire Bruce Wayne. So the word reclusive, what do you think? Because I've said before that just like Batman isn't fully formed in this film, neither is Bruce Wayne. And we know that Bruce Wayne has a public persona, and it appears that he's not out in the public too much if he's reclusive, based on this synopsis. So
a similar but kind of flipped Dark Knight Rises, beginning of Dark Knight Rises, I think. That's how I take that of this Bruce Wayne just stays in Wayne Manor. People don't get their eyes on him.
Yeah.
A hermit.
Yeah, because he's consumed by the Batman and the mission and whatever that entails. So yeah. So it says 2 years of stalking the streets as the Batman, striking fear into the hearts of criminals, has led Bruce Wayne deep into the shadows of Gotham City. So it says 2 years of stalking the streets. We know Reeves has said before that this was in year 2 of Batman, but it seems like just based on that wording, he's toward the end of that second year and he's starting to move into a third. Is that how you take it, or
I didn't think any further than that.
Yeah.
He's 2 years in.
Yeah.
And yeah,
So
I mean,
yeah,
that's as much as I took into
okay.
it.
So he's 2 years in. Where at in the second year? I guess we'll find out in the movie. Maybe, probably. I hope. Okay. So he's deep in the shadow. It says it leads Bruce Wayne deep into the shadows of Gotham City. So does this kind of go with the fact that we see Bruce kind of like in disguise, but not Batman. You know, we've seen him on the motorcycle with the helmet, and he's like doing detective work and watching these people and some of the trailers we've seen so far. So it's almost like he's doing kind of sort of Matches Malone thing as well, because he's Bruce Wayne is having to get out and do some investigating because it's not the proper time of day for the Batman to be doing it, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we saw your boy Lee Bermejo. He did after that trailer, the most recent trailer, and we get that shot of Bruce Wayne with the sunglasses and like he's holding a newspaper, which you can just assume, oh, he's out in public. This is his Matches Malone sort of deal. And Bermejo had done a shot of that, and then compared to I think it might have been Bruce from his Luther story that he did with Azzarello, and it was very, very similar in looks, but I understand the point he's saying there too. And I thought that really stood out because it was maybe that would be really cool. We get it. I have no idea, obviously, but I don't think they're going to do a full-on Matches Malone type deal. But I think we'll see for sure Bruce incognito,
the spirit of Matches Malone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw a little bit of that in Batman Begins. Remember, he was out before he made his comeback announcement that he was not dead. He was out and about, you know. So kind of that kind of stuff. With only a few trusted allies, Alfred Pennyworth and Lieutenant James Gordon amongst the city's corrupt. Let's go back to that, Lieutenant James Gordon. So we figured this, and I think it's been mentioned before officially. He's not Commissioner Gordon yet. He is Lieutenant Gordon, and only Alfred and Gordon are the only two allies he has so far. But it's interesting to see. We've seen in the trailers how much. Not impact's not the word, but how much interaction he seems to already have with the Gotham police force. Besides Gordon, I mean, he walks into a crime scene, you know, and they're all just kind of looking, you know, at him. So,
well, that's it. That's interesting in the sense of, he walks into a crime scene. You could say he's in the bullpen with GCPD, and Gordon has to hold him back. And then you see in the trailer of he's on that skyscraper and the police are swarming him with their guns out. Yeah. And he jumps from the roof. But then we see later on in the trailer when he's got the red flare, it looks like he's leading the GCPD too. So it's really interesting. And this is like, you always say, enjoy the ride. That's why, because it's like, I'm not trying to piece things together, but just, looks like they're allies. Oh, that looks like they're enemies. Oh, now that looks like they're allies. How's it all going to connect?
Yes.
It all must connect. No,
it's got to be. We've seen the trailers and we talk about this and that. We read the synopsis, but there's way more to this film. And they're not trying to break this down with just, you know, with what we've seen and what we've read.
I've only seen, so James Wan, I think I feel like it was a written interview. I don't think it was like a face-to-face interview, but he kind of broken down of where when his trailers released for Aquaman, and he said something of like, they all get together, they present, there were 8 different kinds of trailers and he gets to choose. Do you have any idea how that works in the sense for, especially Matt Reeves, since we all feel like he has the power since he walked away and they got him back? Does he have 100% say on what is and isn't included in the trailer?
I'd probably say yes. You know, it wouldn't shock me if he's the one who cuts the trailers, so to speak, you know, because I mean, I know Chris Nolan had damn near 100% say on what they what
Sure.
they put out. Of course, with Chris, there would be no posters, no trailer. You just go see the movie. So
which I think so. Therefore, I think that just echoes your statement. Then, not that I've come across people who say like, "Oh, they showed too much. I know what's going on." I haven't come across that, but just the fact of even the slightest bit of what we think we know, we don't know.
Oh,
shit.
100%, 100%.
Which is great.
That's also
great.
that's a good thing. So it says, okay, go back to with only a few trusted allies amongst the city's corrupt network of officials and high-profile figures, the lone vigilante has established himself as the sole embodiment of vengeance amongst his fellow citizens. So he is repping the people of Gotham. You know what I mean, so to speak? He's that Gotham has gotten so corrupt and the people are obviously, it sounds like the people are victims of this corruption in the city, that it's Batman is standing up and fighting for the people of Gotham.
That, because I just read and released this. That sounds a little Dark Knight Returns influenced right there,
Yeah.
Of he's representing like the people. And that makes me wonder if there will be much media in the movie of breaking news, another Batman sighting, and if there's a public perception of positive or negative, or if he's still just he is discussed in the way of rumors of another Batman sighting last night, but we don't have any pictures, or we didn't catch him on camera, or that's kind of exciting for me a little bit too. Of not that I need a ton of talking heads on screens to dissect Batman or anything like that, but that's what made me.
I want to see how much is he still like this mythical figure. You know what I mean? Is he real or not? Instead of just as opposed to the the 60s TV series where he's out and about in the daytime and all that stuff. I love it, but you know what I
got it.
So when a killer targets Gotham's elite with a series of sadistic machinations, a trail of cryptic clues sends the world's greatest detective on an investigation into the underworld. That right there. Okay. For one thing, they call him the world's greatest detective. That's on purpose. It's like, this is a detective movie. He's already, is he though yet, you think in the Batman, the world's greatest detective, or he's just really, really good at it? Because he's still, we know he's in year 2. He's still learning. He's not fully formed. But he's got to be awfully damn good at that job.
He's proven himself. I feel like at that point for Batman, and for them to make that claim, he's proven himself time and time again. However, the jury's still out.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it would be unanimous. His clashing with the GCPD is either because I feel like officers, he still hasn't proven himself to them, or they're corrupt officers and he's closing in on them.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's got Gordon as an ally. At one point I thought, maybe we don't see the bat signal till the end, like we have in some other films, because with when the first time they gave us the glimpse of it, it was that little short teaser on social media. It was like, it's not just a signal, it's a warning. Yeah. So it's kind of like, I thought, did Batman give this to Gordon and say, it's not just a signal, it's a warning, this is why I'm giving it to you. So apparently he does at some point, but he already has his relationship with Gordon. Gordon trusts him completely.
Yeah.
And I think that speaks to what you said, is that he's proven himself. He's probably solved some shit for Gordon and for the police force and helped them a lot,
Uncovered. I mean, if they're talking about corruption so much, I mean, he's probably uncovered some of the stuff within the department.
Yeah. Because that the Gotham Police Department is corrupt as hell. So it says, continue on, Sand is the world's greatest detective on an investigation into the underworld where he encounters such characters as Selena Kyle, aka Catwoman, Oswald Cobblepot, aka the Penguin, Carmine Falcone, and Edward Nashton, aka the Riddler. So we know those people are in, or those characters are in the film. And somewhere it looks like, based on, based on Batman mythos and what we've seen in the trailers, he ends up with some kind of partnership or becomes allies, or she becomes an ally. Catwoman, Selena Kyle, becomes a partner or help him in some way. And I wonder, does she have a tie? Is she an end to some part of this underworld? The Selena Kyle part of Catwoman?
There's a lot of things. It's going all over the place. I'm trying to grab the thoughts as they go by. So it's been that angle. I guess for me, her connection to Oswald is maybe she works in, if that's the Iceberg Lounge, maybe in the Iceberg Lounge or something. Maybe that's the connection. Connection to Falcone, read Dark Victory.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Riddler part, I don't know, and that's interesting too, because when you see the first fandom teaser, looks like you're led to believe he's the one who killed that guy that he's duct taped in the face. And then when you see the shots around the wall, it seems like that's Maroni. There's they talk about the Don and Maroni and stuff like that. It's on the newspaper clippings all around. And so that makes me wonder if that was Maroni, or if there is no, I don't know. But it just made me think is this Maroni then? In which that opens up a whole new angle in the sense of, if go after one of Gotham's elite, if it's Maroni, if he's somebody who's elite, okay, Riddler's going after him. Well, then the Riddler's gotta, he's working.
It's not
Falcone, because that relationship. It's Falcone next, or
it's not that black and white that the Riddler is killing all these people. He's probably involved. He's doing all this, but it can't be that simple that that we already know that the Riddler is the big bad.
The match. He's the match for a powder keg.
And he's the big, he's the big bad. And then there's more. There's just more to it. It's gonna be fun to see what that more to it is.
Yeah. Yep. And how it all comes together.
I think it's the first time I've seen them. I think I've seen them mentioned in the synopsis. Carmine Falcone. How much of that?
Yeah.
How much of that Falcone family is involved in all this? So let's see here as we finish up here. As the evidence begins to lead closer to home and the scale of the perpetrator's plans become clear, Batman must forge new relationships, unmask the culprit, and bring justice to the abuse of power and corruption that has long plagued Gotham City. It's getting close to home.
They play that even. They threw Riddler in there with Penguin, Falcone, Catwoman, unmask the culprit. Not it's just that synopsis is, I feel like, is such careful wording, obviously, but they aren't playing. You read, I used to always love going, reading the back of the VHS covers or the backs of VHS tapes in the movie store, and you read synopsis and stuff. And I mean, you look at it, 89, it's like the Joker, if Batman can stop the Joker, and then in return it's like, can he stop the Penguin? And that does not say, that just throws Riddler in with the rest and then continues on for a while, which just everything is, they're giving us just enough of the Riddler's not, he's just not the main event. I don't think. I don't have a guess. I don't know what the main event or anything. I just feel and they even have the little line of the powder keg, Riddler's just a match. I'm like, man, they're laying that groundwork of there's something that they're keeping that's awesome.
I think
more than we're prepared for.
I don't know at what point or what generation, but I think the Wayne family was mixed up in some shenanigans at one time. I don't know if it's Bruce's parents, but I think when it's, it says hits closer to home, and then even in the trailer, that first trailer was like, how am I part of this? You'll see,
Sins of the Father in the second trailer was written on the floor when he's got everything laid out. And so, things are pointing in that direction. I'll always say this, and obviously the movie is the movie. Will that work in this movie and the story? My preference, what just works best for me, are the Waynes are the only good and they're taken out. I just feel like that serves Bruce and his mission stronger than if the rug gets pulled out from under him that they were bad and they were corrupt. I just don't prefer that way. That's all. I want them to be the lone spot. I don't know what I'm trying to phrase. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, they are the 1% that are actually really good people and trying to help people and make things better, and they're taken out by the people that they're trying to help. Maybe
they crossed these other individuals, and Bruce's grandfather or great grandparents were involved.
I was gonna say, you saying that, I think that would just instant reaction. And of course, watch the movie and it could be like, oh my God, Thomas Wayne was corrupt, and that's fine. I don't care. But even that one step removed of it, he finds out grandparents somehow, and that was what got the Waynes murdered. That works better for me than Thomas and or Martha were corrupt or kind of dirty people. So that's all. Personal preference.
I lean that direction, although it wouldn't bother me if it was the opposite in the film and Bruce becomes he's going to, not only is the Batman part of him cleaning up Gotham, but also he knows there's a responsibility for the Bruce Wayne part of him to do the same and do it because he's going to do right by the city for the first time in his family's history. I'm just throwing that out there,
But that's a strong point too, and really puts Bruce in a heroic light. The Telltale series, which I did the comic with Brian Haas, and that was the first that I'd read the comic, and Bruce does that angle, and it's Bruce out in the spotlight and saying, I know my family did wrong, I'm gonna make it right. And of course that makes him a hero and everything, but it's just in reading that, I just feel like the whole mission is it's more clear and drives more and carries more weight if it is good people were murdered.
Yeah.
That sounds bad. I want good people murdered, Bill. That's not bad.
So what's your, did the reading this crank up your anticipation level?
Bill,
that's what I'm saying. It's already, that's what I mean. It's myself as well, but
we're audio only, but I'm showing Bill now. I've got my Lego sets, Bill. I've got my Batman Lego sets. It's amped up.
Yeah.
And inside of the one is you got to build a bat signal, which hell yeah.
Very cool.
And it glows in the dark. Oh my gosh. I had a good time with that. But reading it, I read it in the grocery store, which is when you got a hold of me. I'm like, hey, let's do a social hour. So I was reading it quickly, but not until thinking about it and talking about it with you is like, hell yeah, I'm I'm amped. We are, less than 4 months. We're coming up on less than 3.5.
Yeah, we're almost at 3 because we're at,
almost at 3. Yeah,
it's the end of November.
Oh my God. And it's only gonna ramp up even more.
Yeah,
which is wild. And then before I know it, I'll be down there in Texas.
Yeah,
eating some. Oh my! Don't gumbo. There we go.
Gumbo.
I did blank. I'll be eating some gumbo down in Texas.
Oh, there's going to be a little sample of everything. We're going to have some gumbo. We're going to have some boudin. We're going to have some sort of Texas barbecue. We're going to have some sort of Tex-Mex, all available for that deal. So yeah,
You're gonna have your first sip of Coke in over 25 years. Crazy. Just a sip, not much.
What kind of
Just a
Coke
sip,
are you
just
talking
for me.
about?
Well, I mean, I'd leave the choice up to you, but if you're gonna, I mean, I'm gonna go Dew all the way.
Yeah,
Phil.
that's
And that might kill you if you
so
have
what you're
this
saying.
long.
What you're saying is Mountain Dew is your favorite Coke, right?
Sure is.
For people who don't know what we're talking about, and if you're from Texas, you know what I'm talking about. All sodas, all pops. My wife's from Minnesota. It's pop. All sodas, all pops, all soda waters in Texas are Cokes. So
Midwest pop, down there in Texas, Coke. East Coast, I know a friend who he said it was always soda,
mm-hmm.
and he really laid on that. Oh, a soda.
Okay,
it was a soda. So there you go.
Is it pop?
We know what we're
Is
talking
it pop
about.
to you? Are you pop?
Oh yeah, we talk
okay.
pop.
Okay.
Yep. Probably out west in California, they say soft drink.
maybe so. All right. So yeah, I'm fired up. And speaking of that, just let me plug real quick. BOF's The Batman Watch Party. It will be on Saturday, the 5th of March, 2022. We're going to watch, and it's going to be in Plano. Plano, Texas is a northern suburb of Dallas. It's about 20-ish miles from downtown Dallas. It's about 20-ish miles from Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. And we're going to see like probably a 4 or 5 p.m. screening, but we're going to have a social gathering before at a little sports bar or bar that's right near the theater.
Theater.
The
there
theater.
It is.
And that
Did
theater,
you know that Pete is, I should be arriving Thursday.
mm-hmm.
Pete, I think, is coming on a Wednesday. And Pete's going to wait until that Saturday for the first screening.
Is he going to wait that
I don't
long?
know how the hell he can do that.
Yeah.
I said, no, not because I think he's going to go to a Dallas Mavericks game on that Thursday evening.
Yes.
And he said that I should go too. He's going to go with you. And I was like, no, I have to see Batman the first possible showing that I can't wait until Saturday.
If I wasn't going to a press screening, which will probably be like the Monday before, I would forego the Mavs game and I'd go see that very first screening. Probably what, 5 or 6 o'clock? They're doing it now.
It's in the Midwest. It's usually so East Coast. It's always 7, and I think so. When I was in Chicago, they were doing stuff at 6.
Okay.
Just so that everybody's on the same.
Yeah.
But then that would be weird because it's not like they make it then 3 o'clock out west. So I don't know. So I'd guess probably like 6.
I remember the day when there were no. I mean, when a film opened the day of release, and it was like 7 o'clock. You know, you had to wait till 7 o'clock all day to go see it. I just thought of Batman '89, the day it came out back then in May or in June of 1989, and I went to the mall where the theater was and waited in line because there was a big ass line for it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you had to wait till 7 o'clock screening, and then I don't remember. I saw Batman Returns also 3 years later at a 7 o'clock screening opening day. The first Batman film I remember seeing early was Batman Forever. And it was a quote unquote midnight screening. That's when they started these remember that?
They started midnight. Yeah.
And it was like 11 o'clock PM on a Thursday, the day before the film opened. It was like Thursday, June 15th, 11 o'clock PM. And then now it's 6 o'clock or 7,
They're doing 2 days before the movie comes out, 5 days, all sorts of stuff. The Dark Knight was the longest one I ever waited in line for. And that was probably 2 hours. And it was like after an hour and a half, then they let you in the theater.
Okay.
And then waited. And then that one right after the Joker's first home video. And I can picture it now, the zooming in on the Bruce's penthouse for the Harvey Dent party. And then it went like this, like it shook. The lights in the theater came on. It shut off. We had to leave the building because somebody called in a bomb threat.
No way. I did not know that. I think maybe I did. That sucks.
I was so pissed off.
What was your level of aggravation at that point?
I was stunned. I think I took it pretty well. And then I got home because they gave everybody a voucher. We're like, come back tomorrow. And so then we started looking what's the first showing the next day, because I'm getting up and going.
Yeah.
And then it wasn't until I got home, and I think I laid down in bed and put the TV on to try and fall asleep, and then I got pissed off. And then it was just like, God damn it. So then I was all fired up and I couldn't go to sleep because I was right there. And then I just knew I'd been counting down for this. And
that's that's damn near halfway through the film, huh?
That was like 40 minutes, I think 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It was right before shit really hit the fan.
Yeah.
And so then it was like, I had to wait till the next morning, then went. And then as good as what I'd seen already was, I was like, let's get through this. I've already seen this. I need to see what else.
So what was
happened.
what screening did you go to the next day? The first one they showed that morning?
It was 9 a.m.
Okay.
So yeah, I'd gotten home probably at like 1:30, was pissed off for 3 hours, finally fell asleep, and then was up and at the theater at 9 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't care. I'm going.
Yeah.
I took the day off from work at that point and everything.
Yeah.
I take days off for Batman movie release day.
That's
that was terrible.
That's law, isn't it?
Yeah.
It should be.
So.
I think that they're talking about making national holidays for the day solo Batman films are released and on voting day.
I mean, they should.
Yeah.
Batman versus Superman, I saw it 3 days three times opening day. Dark Knight Rises, I saw it 3 times opening day. Opening day. It's just, that's what I do.
Yeah.
It's my thing.
What Batman film have you seen the most?
Dark Knight Rises.
How many times you figure you've seen
in a theater?
No,
in a
just
theater
period overall.
Oh, it's probably 89 for sure, because that was, had those VHS tapes growing up, and I just constantly, I burnt the hell out of that.
I ran through 2 of them, and I had 3. I burned up 2 VHS discs of Batman 89. I've watched Batman 89 more than any Batman film. There's no doubt in my mind about that.
It's probably the movie I've watched the most out of any movie at all, because of that, especially, and that's just what it is, I think, for my generation stuff as a kid of, you can't go to the movies all the time or anything, so you just go and you pop in a disc or kids a disc, or a stream, but then a VHS tape. You go and see what you have, and I always wanted Batman, so I was 89.
I was 23 when Batman 89 came out. I just graduated college, and I remember when the VHS came out. It was like in November of that year, right before the holidays. And hell, I was young, and I was still going out, on the weekend, staying out to 2 in the morning, Friday and Saturday nights.
Wild.
And I remember, all the time, I come in 2:30, 3, whatever it was, and I put in that damn movie, and I'd watch back until I passed out in a recliner. And so, God, I've seen that movie so many times I could quote it. So, yeah. What's in your rotation? You got a regular.
I just watched that this morning. I just watched it this morning. No joke. A regular rotation.
What, you have a regular rotation of Batman films that you watch more than? If you take all of them combined, and I'll even include BVS and both Justice Leagues. How about that? And Lego Batman.
Mm-hmm.
You got a regular rotation?
I do, because shameless plug. We'll call this a shoeless plug. My birthday was the other day, and I always watch The Dark Knight on my birthday because that is my favorite movie.
Okay.
I knew watching it when I got to watch it in full for the first time. I knew I was experiencing my favorite movie. And so usually I always want to watch Begins before that. I want to watch Rises after it. So always in November, I watch the trilogy. Always around Christmas, I put on Returns. And then 89, I don't watch any of the Dark Knight trilogy the back half of the year, so I can make it exciting of like, I want to watch the Dark Knight trilogy, but I got to wait till November. And I sprinkle 89 throughout the whole year,
Okay.
tons of time.
I'm with you.
And then I'll randomly grab ones I haven't watched in a while. So I'll watch, because I like BVS. I'll throw in BVS randomly. I'll throw in Lego Batman randomly. I do Batman Forever. I still love Batman Forever. I'll sprinkle in Batman and Robin too. I have a good giggle. Mask of the Phantasm when I'm feeling serious, because some of 89, I think that's why I watched 89 a whole lot too, is because it's and this isn't a negative at all, it's the most digestible, I think.
Mm-hmm.
That and Forever have popcorn, a popcorn vibe with it. Just, you're doing something, put something on. You can put those two on.
I watched the Dark Knight trilogy like during Christmas break, sometime maybe between Christmas and New Year's, and I watch them one complete city. 89, and it's even now that I was a little late to the game, but now I've become a bit of a streamer guy, and I can stream 89 from HBO Max. I'll watch bits and pieces of it. Forever, I will watch Forever. I'm not going to apologize for really liking Batman Forever, and Lego Batman is in my rotation because I think it's a love letter to Batman. And Phantasm I'll watch, but I am mixing in the Long Halloween. It's because I think it's one of the best ones I think it's one of the best Batman films that we've had, animated or not. I really do. I'm not.
That's what I was going to say. Do you ever throw Dark Knight Returns or Under the Red Hood in those rotations? Because those are high up there on
Dark Knight Returns. Yes, I'm not a huge fan of Under the Red Hood. I don't hate it, but I wouldn't say it's in my regular rotation. But Dark Knight Returns and even Year One. I like Year One quite a bit. Yeah. So, that's my regular rotation, pretty much.
We're spoiled. We're spoiled.
Hell yeah. There's nothing wrong with that. All right.
Good for us.
Go ahead and plug something.
Okay, I can do that. You can catch my comic reviews on BOF proper. Man, there's so many Batman books these days. It almost feels like there's one up there every other week on Batman on Film.
Yeah.
I got to get you something. Different, Bill, sometime soon. Maybe we'll do another Lego set or something.
Yeah.
The Batman merchandise or.
Oh yeah, for
but
sure.
All those you
for
can
sure,
find.
For sure.
All those you can find on BOF proper, as well as mine and Bill's interview with Long Halloween writer Tim Sheridan. I'll always plug that. I'll always plug my written interview with the one and only Lee Bermejo. That's on BOF proper. And then me, Bill, and Garrett, our podcast interview with Lee Bermejo that we did at the beginning of this year. All that's on BOF proper. But also, if you love to read comics, want to hear us talk about comics, you can follow my show, The Batman Book Club. Bill is kind enough to put that on BOF also. You can follow on Twitter at the Batman BC. The latest episode drop was a long one with Mr. Robert Reinecke, the comic encyclopedia himself. Mm-hmm. We talked Dark Knight Returns, and that was a really fun discussion because Robert was he could. It was cool to bring the aspect of someone who was there and experienced it at the time, where most of the listeners and myself included. I told him not to feel to age him, but I was like, Robert, I was born a month after The Dark Knight Returns ended, just to make you feel good. But he could bring a lot of perspective of the time, the build up to the release, how it was released, and then seeing the impact afterwards. So that's a great discussion.
You want
to check that out.
I think I probably told you I was in college when it came out, and I was also in my pretending that I wasn't a Batman fan phase because it was a different time. I mean, before 89, I'm not honestly. Okay? Before 89, it was not super cool to be, profess your love for Batman or comic books and stuff. So I kind of kept that on the down and low during that time. And I actually would go to the mall to Walden Books. And they had comic books there. And I would read comics off the rack, off the stand. And that's where I first read The Dark Knight Returns. Was standing there in Walden Books. And I read I read all 4 issues as they came out at Walden Books. And it was probably another decade until I finally had a copy of it. It was after Batman 89, around that time.
Gotcha.
So probably another 5, 6, 7 years before I got a copy of that. All right.
Oh, and you've been on the show, and you're coming back really soon to talk Gotham by Gaslight.
Gotham by Gaslight.
So,
yeah.
That's
another animated movie I'll watch every once in a while as well. I like that animated film.
Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. So speaking of the Batman Book Club, you'll find that show, this show, all the shows, many other shows. They're all part of the Batman Podcast Network. You can find all of them at batmanpodcastnetwork.com. It is hosted by and sponsored by Batman on Film, this here website. Follow me on Twitter at Batman on Film. Follow Batman News Links at The Batman on Film on Twitter. Instagram is also at Batman on Film. Patreon, like what we do, patreon.com/Batman on Film. Check that out. Got a lot of cool stuff on TeePublic that's Batman on Film related. teepublic.com/Batman on Film. That's t-shirts. They got all kind of stuff, stickers and whatever. I mean, all kind of things, different merchandise there. And I plugged the watch party. And I should say that this edition of the Batman on Film Social Hour, it is show number 40. I don't know if I mentioned it at the beginning. This is the 40th edition of the Batman on Film Social Hour. This is the Bill Bates edition.
Rick Stu, Bill Bates was a football player, in case you're trying to figure out what all that means.
He indeed
carry
was.
on, Bill.
I bet just through just you can infer what team he played for, just based on me bringing him up.
Guaranteed not the Philadelphia Eagles.
It was not.
This guy was a cowboy.
Eagles. He was a Dallas Cowboy. He was a safety, and it was a special teams extraordinaire, great special teams player and safety for the Dallas Cowboys. Bill Bates, number 40. Anyway, this edition is sponsored by Manscaped, manscaped.com. Right now, Ryan, if you go to manscaped.com,
doing it right now,
and you go by, and they have a new setup, the 4.0, the lawnmower 4.0. You get extra 20% off for just putting in Jett BOF as the promo code, JETTBOF at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com. Use that code, unlock your confidence, and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. Yes, manscaped.com. Any thoughts on manscaped.com, Ryan?
Hey now. There you go.
It's Bruce Wayne on a lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped.
I bet he's already got the 5.0.
He's probably, yes. He's that.
But to answer your question specifically, yes, the 4.0 for sure, because Manscaped definitely sends Bruce Wayne.
He's
the latest and greatest.
I think he may own Manscaped.com.
He might. Yeah.
It's part of his portfolio.
That's right. Yeah.
Wayne Enterprises.
Headed by Lucius Fox.
Yes. Lucius Fox created the lawnmower 4.0.
He's good. And Lucius, I trust.
Yes. He
Great
made
product then. Get that lawnmower 4.0.
Does Batman keep a lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped in his utility belt?
I don't think so, because he wouldn't find the need for it when he's out patrolling. This is a pre-suit lawnmower 4.0. There's probably one in the cave.
Did he trick it out to turn it into some kind of bat gadget?
Oh yeah, the blade is probably in the shape of the bat symbol.
Oh, yeah. Okay. For sure.
Yeah. Gotta
have that.
I mean,
okay.
I would if I was Batman.
I could really go on a tangent on this, but
They're gonna get a hold of you and be like, Bill, the spike in sales of the lawnmower 4.0 is out of this world.
Well,
keep doing what you're doing.
if Bruce Wayne Batman recommends the lawnmower 4.0,
yeah.
Well, hell yeah. I mean,
Bruce Wayne recommends anything, I'm there.
Yes. It's billboard. I use the lawnmower 4.0 from Manscaped.
Yeah.
help. I need more.
If
I'm a
only,
billion.
if only,
I,
only
I'm a,
Joe Chill had this instead of a pistol. Totally different world.
Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh. All right, let's get out of here. Thanks for listening to this edition of the Batman on Film Social Hour. So for Ryan, I'm Bill. Batman on Film, authoritative, definitive. Ryan, what is it?
The dadgum original.
The dadgum original. Dadgummit. We'll catch you next time.
Thanks for listening to the Batman on Film Social Hour, Jett's official BOF podcast and vlog. Follow Jett on Twitter at Batman on Film. For BOF news only on Twitter, follow at the Batman on Film. For Jett and everyone at BOF, I'm announcer Rachel. Authoritative, definitive, the original, Batman on Film.